Metric Halo is committed to never leaving their users behind. That's why the new version 5 Mio console fully supports legacy boxes. By legacy, we mean a box that has not been upgraded to a 2D. That's a 2882 or ULN2 with or without DSP. Now, if you're using a non-2D enabled box, a legacy box, you do not have access to the new mixer. So things like the configurable mixer, character, direct insert of mixer routing, the new surround engine are not going to be available to you. But there are some cool things that are available to you. So first off, the new Mio console version 5 fully supports both legacy and non-legacy boxes working together. So across the top of the window here, we have our familiar controls for I/O control, mixer, routing, DSP, and recording. Now, two panes here. We have a ULN2 with 2D and the 2882 without 2D. If you simply tab over the mixer and routing pane on a 2D box, it'll show you that these mixer controls and routing are not going to be enabled for a 2D box, because in 2D you're going to be using the new mixer. However, if we switch over to the non-2D legacy box, we have our familiar controls for our mixer window and our routing matrix. So these things stay the same. In the Plus DSP for a legacy box, you have your familiar graph for inserting plugins. And in the upgrade, we have a ton more mixer plugins and primitives to enable you to do new things. Now, one very cool thing that we're shipping with the version 5 upgrade is HaloVerb Plus DSP. That allows you to run a single stereo or two mono instances of HaloVerb. Now, in the list, there are two choices here, one for Plus DSP and one just says HaloVerb. The HaloVerb by itself is for the 2D boxes and will not run on your legacy system, and Plus DSP is for the legacy boxes. Once that's inserted and cabled up to DAW 1 and 2 into the process returns, you'll notice it takes up a fair chunk of memory. Again, on a legacy box, expect one stereo instance. On a 2D box, by comparison, you can get at least two stereo instances in there. And HaloVerb is an incredible addition for free. Other cool things, the record panel for a legacy box, the channel names do not support auto hiding and auto refreshing that they do in the 2D mixer. These channels are hardwired into the record panel. You can record and enable them on and off from here. 2D boxes will still show up in the record panel using the traditional methods outlined in the record panel documentation and record panel window. Now, by default, Console 5 ships with legacy box support turned on, and that's done via preference. Here in the Preferences boxes that enable legacy box support. Now, other sorts of things do you get in the legacy box of Mio version 5. The monitor controller is a new innovative way to control monitoring sources, output path, and control their level. On a 2D box, you have full control over the monitor controller. However, on a non-2D enabled legacy box, you do have the ability to select between preset monitor sources and choose your own, and monitor paths and output paths. You do not, however, have access to the volume controller here. But that doesn't mean you can't have fun with the legacy box. In the routing panel here, where we're choosing between different output patch bays, I can very quickly switch between the main and the CAN's outputs. And you'll notice here in the source panel that we're switching between process A and B and DAW 1 and 2. So actually the monitor controller is a very, very elegant way to quickly switch between monitor outputs and monitor sources that you can define as many as you'd like to within the monitor controller here. The mute fully works. However, dim and the ability to change the independent levels of the monitor controller are not supported under a non-2D enabled box. Now, one other very important and critical aspect of the V5 upgrade on the console is the new persistence boot states. That means for the first time you're able to load up a DSP configuration, routing, analog levels within your non-2D box and pull the power cord and FireWire out, reboot the box, and that state will persist. So that means you can save a custom DSP configuration, routing, analog levels, and save it to the many front panel boot state configurations and recall them without having to be hooked up to a computer. Now, we've never had that before, and it's a brand new thing in version 5, and that is supported fully on legacy boxes. So whether you're using a legacy box or you're upgrading to 2D, Metric Halo has a long-standing commitment to quality and keeping you supported. Do check out the videos for 2D. There's a lot of cool stuff within the mixer, record panel, the new Plus DSP inserts in the graphs, macros you're going to want to check out for great reason to go to 2D. Otherwise, enjoy your legacy box.